See, when you have your land, that gives you money. Because when you have your land, you have the right to grow what you want to grow. You don't have to worry about no GMO. You can grow your medicine. You can grow your vitamin C, your vitamin D, your vitamin E, which they ban. They can't tell you that. Just like Imam said, on my family land, we grow that. And they can't come on the land. They can try. I mean, we don't have a fire only, but we got fighters. We don't mind dying, like you say, we mind.
And you got Department of Justice.
You know, we have the Department of Justice.
Yeah, you do.
It's a code of ethics and command. You just can't go on the person land and just be like, you can get shot for that. It ain't never gonna happen.
Sent these people, like when they kill that white man, that white girl. That's what I'm looking at for everybody. I don't talk about it online, but since we young boy that time. So y'all see how to send these people, kill that white boy that tried to come over there with that racist shit. Once we repatriate into our own jurisdiction, anybody who we fear or bringing fear to us, we have the right to annihilate that. And so when people be like, how you gonna protect yourself? If you got a family, you got an army. So if your family not gonna protect y'all family name, that ain't your family. Like, I'm gonna disown you.
And see, in this way, it's coming there too. Article 6 of the United States Constitution said, what is the highest law of the land? Anybody know?
Constitution.
No. Do anybody know what the highest law of the land is a treaty. Article 6 is a treaty.
And they're gonna be done for nations.
So, dealing with the Shatta being here, they can use the treaty of Camp Holmes, where they say you don't have the right to infringe on the Aboriginal, and the Aboriginal don't have the right to infringe on the so-called American. If land was taken back, it's supposed to be given double time. So, by us being so-called misnomer New Orleans, there's two jurisdictions going on. But our jurisdiction comes first because we got the Supreme Law of the Land, which is the treaty. So if NOPD was to stop any one of us, we'll ask you what's your delegation of authority. Are you not bound by the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Louisiana? Okay, do you know about Article 6 of the United States Constitution? Well, my treaty says this, you brought the treaty, but he's going to be done to it because they don't know law. They only go by statutes, codes, and that. You see? But the judge knows.
But they know.
Yeah, that's your protection.
They know that they have to get a bond in order to work. You're touching on police. Police officers know they have to get a surety bond in order to be insured to work. So whenever they...
What you say, Jay?
They got many police departments that
Yeah, they was told not to get it. They was told not to get it. This was in 2010 because they were putting liens on the police.
That's why I need to
and they were saying, don't do it because if you get an insurance, then if anything was to go down, they can put a bond against you, and it was like you can't get paid. So they were saying,
so now I'm wondering, since y'all saying this, how are these cops able to carry a gun? Because in order for you to be...
Most people don't know, so why you won't tell them so?
So fraud. So this, y'all blowing my mind with this, because y'all know what type of lawsuits this is? I'm over here thinking like, Lord have mercy.
You don't know which way you gotta go. You gotta know how to sue.
That's why you need to study, but Lord, they have no...
The judges are what paid for out here.
But again, you in the higher jurisdiction, that's why we need to move into our repatriation.
But it doesn't matter if he's paid, because if he goes against the Constitution,
he's a violation. You can lean on him too. You can lean on the judge too.
Right to travel is regulated. Anything, any license, drive license, all drive license is commercial.
Yes, that's the point I'm making. So the police supposed to have a surety bond in order to be insured to carry a gun and work. So you saying that some of these cops now are not having
No, I'm in the department going to issue all.
The vehicles that, I'd like to say, the vehicles that you drive, there's what's called a manufacturer's certificate of origin.
Yes.
That information is sent straight away to the Secretary of State's office, and that's where it's housed. That vehicle belongs to the state. When you get state tags, it is firm now that that vehicle belongs to the state. With tribes, well, when we talk with the Department of Justice wanted the nation to pay $1,000 for every state in the country in order to have tribal tags. The Potawatomi took them to court and did some other things, and we're able to do the same thing. Once you're living on your own land and you have commerce taking place on your land. If you have commerce taking place, then you apply to the federal government and you can get then tribal tags. You need at least 100 acres of land so that there's real commerce going on. But in the event that you don't have that, your vehicle that you own, you should transfer the ownership of it to the tribe. And then let the tribe go to the state and secure. See, the state can't take anything from the tribe unless it is clearly known that I'm doing this agreement with you, you're gonna give me tags and you own my vehicle. Without that notice from the state doesn't own tribal property. It owns the property of its citizens, but not tribal property. So when a tribe goes and secures tags under the tribe, then that tag is registered to the tribe. It's registered to the Tchopitulas nation. So when Johnny Law pulls up behind anyone who's from Tchopitulas, he's gonna run that tag. That tag is gonna come back property of the Tchopitulas nation. Also, the Tchopitulas nation should make sure that insurance is secured on that vehicle so that they can sustain federal law. Federal law requires that the vehicle be registered and have an insurance bond. So by getting an insurance bond, the Tchopitulas nation then has an insurance policy that's registered to whom? The Tchopitulas nation. So that takes that police officer 100% out of jurisdiction. Because you're operating under federal jurisdiction at the time. So he has no power. He doesn't know it, he has to be taught. But Calico can't do it by himself. Chief can't do it by herself. There has to be numbers and mass. There has to be people. See, judges can be removed from the bench, but nobody knows how to remove a judge. Show that he's despicable. Show that he is a public nuisance. How do you do that? Well, write up the laws as to what a judge is supposed to do and how he's supposed to be running his court that nobody knows about. Stand out there in front of the courthouse and pass out those newsletters and brochures. That judge is going to be removed. The only way to remove a judge is that he must become a public spectacle. That's their law, to make sure that their judges stay in power. I've had 3 judges removed, and I don't have a problem removing others. As a matter of fact, we have a case right now here in Louisiana, in St. Tammany, where a judge authorized the removal of an official document without calling a hearing, without doing anything. What the hell, I go down there by myself, they might knock me in the head and I might disappear. But if I go down there in mass, that judge is going to lose his job. So it's important that you continue doing what you're doing here, gathering and sucking up the knowledge, because it's the knowledge that's going to change everything for you. That's why, again, I'm approaching the children, because the children have to know that they're not African American. They have to know that they are American Aborigine and they have a history. Because the government said they had a history. Oops, Trump didn't mean to do that. But yes, Trump is a real, yes, he's that. He's all of that. He's good and he's bad. But who's not good and bad? You just have to know the type of snake that you're dealing with so that you deal with that snake accordingly. And with Trump, he's open to Indians, as they call them. So with the proclamation that the nation received, see, that proclamation means jurisdiction. But see, the state, they're so blind in their power, they don't realize that we recognize that you just gave us power.
Yeah.
You did that. You did it on your own volition. You gave us power. The problem is most tribes that receive proclamations, they don't know the power that they have. So they don't know how to enact and move in action with what has been now recognized, not given, but recognized to them.
Oh, and also the definition for the Negro is an 1850 definition that the Negro is an Indian.
Oxford University, it's Oxford Dictionary. Oxford Dictionary says that
1850, and then you have the Webster Dictionary in 1828 to say that the American is the copper color tone race found here in the Americas, now applied to those who are born in America, talking about the Europeans. So actually the idea that
And if you go to if you go to Black's Law 1, 2, and 3, it's going to tell you what a Negro is. It says American Indian. In Black's Law, it says American Indian for a Negro. But we're still running around here listening to Jesse Jackson, and we're African American.
And then look, on top of Jesse Jackson, so this is what I get from Jesse. This is the message I get back. Jesse said he only did the African American stuff to give us some type of resources at that moment. He said that it was never for us to stay in that status. He was like, we were supposed to continue going on. So he was like, for all us youngsters who are always talking about the elders, everything that we are living on now, the elders are the ones that created it. Put it in the work for it.
Yes.
Y'all youngsters don't have nothing to show for the work that y'all criticize the elders for. This is the word I got back from Jesse Jackson. Y'all youngsters y'all criticize y'all elders for everything, but everything that y'all are able to maneuver through right now, y'all elders work for and put in place. We haven't done nothing according to them yet for our own generation. So he was like, the African American status was just to give y'all some type of step up, but y'all supposed to continue going off of the work that we built. It's like y'all just sat off of the work we built and just figured, well, they did enough and we not gonna do nothing. And that's the word I got back from him.
I'd like to speak on that African American, because in the 1700s, late 1700s, the European began to develop what was called the American Colonization Society. And in its early days, the American Colonization Society, they used people like, I can't think of his name, up in Massachusetts, a black shipper, to actually transfer dark Indians or Indians, Aborigine, offload them from north in Pennsylvania and ship them down to the south so that they could be sold in the lower states, and ship them also to the Caribbean and to places in Africa. What is the Monrovia? Monrovia and Liberia were both purchased by one president of the United States. He and other whites purchased that land and then shipped Indians off this land to populate and set up Liberia and Monrovia.
Yeah.
Most of the people of Monrovia and Liberia, they know that they belong here in this country.
That was in 1828.
1828.
And all the black
With the American Colonization Society, the point that I'm making to you on the African American is that the word immigrant used to be highly used, but there are no more immigrants. E-immigrant, E-M immigrant. There's only I-immigrant now. But before the I-immigrant became so prevalent, it was the E